Hi, this is Tim the Watch Explorer. Welcome to my appreciation and sharing of end-user perspectives from our hobbies in watches. Today we will be talking about two of my first watches. The first one being my first Rolex Oyster, and the second one being my first Cartier Parsha. Here we have my first Rolex, reference number 15210, with a tritium dial, caliper 3135, and a case size of 34 millimeters. This was actually first purchased in 1998, actually during a time when I found my first job. I was able to save up enough and work hard for my first luxury piece. And this has stayed in my collection ever since, and will probably be forever part of my collection. The second one is actually representative of a dilemma that I first had when I was purchasing this. More than 20 years ago, I had to make a decision between one or two. And at the time, this Parsha, reference number 2324, case millimeter size 35 from the 1990s, was also something that was quite hyped and quite fashionable. So at the time, I was fixed with two choices, the safer choice being the Rolex, and the more fashionable choice being the Cartier Parsha. However, I would not suggest buyers and enthusiasts to look at just watches that are purely from hype, rather than your own personal taste and preferences. As a matter of fact, throughout the cycles of the watch industry, you'll notice that case sizes have grown bigger, smaller, and gone through a couple of cycles. So there's been many times where I put this watch and forgotten about it because of its size, but there are other times when it's got back to fashion, and now I'm able to wear this as well, as sizes and preferences are getting a little bit smaller recently. And the Parsha, a recent addition to my collection, was purchased 20 years apart from my first Rolex, and finally resolving my dilemma as part of my collection. One of the most favorite features that I find on this watch is the crown guard, which is directly linked to a set of links that gives it a very artistic feel. And as a matter of fact, the Cartier is coming back in fashion, and perhaps before you know it, you may find one on your wrist. So the moral of the story, for anyone that likes to take on watches as a hobby, is always to try on a watch and not always go with the hype, because watches will stay with you for a very long time, but fashion and hype situations will come and go from time to time. As you can see, what's most important is what fits on your wrist. When we actually look at case sizes, many people are caught up with the case size itself as a size factor. However, when looking at watches and their fit, you should always look at the lug-to-lug width as well as the thickness of the watch, which goes on your wrist. And for viewers' reference, my wrists are 16.5 centimeters and is considered quite standard for men's wrists. This concludes our video. And as always, your comments and suggestions are welcome to help us improve in our learning process. And don't forget to click the like and subscribe and notification bell to keep updated on our sharing. Remember to share with fellow enthusiasts, as your support is our motivation. Thank you.